All right, we can hold to order at 4:35. Mhm. Yeah.
And accept the minutes.
I'll second. All in favor? Okay. All right. Resolution 2026-01. Oh, yeah. A resolution transferring monies from multiple road approved funds to the local road and bridge matching grant fund. So are we gonna get rid of these other funds? It's just what we have like left over in it?
We're just moving monies for our matching portion. What we got in the process.
Oh,
That
the-
goes on street, which is mandatory in order to keep the grant, correct?
Right.
Okay.
all right. You wanna motion to-
Yes, I motion to adopt the resolution 2026-01.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Use for a second, use. Did I hand you those minutes back?
Mhm.
Did I sign them? I was like, I feel like I wrote my name before this and I should have.
Glad you realized that.
All right, and COVID money? Oh,
Florida Treasury State and local fiscal recovery funds, simplification plan to the award closeout process.
notification of compliance with award closeout process. We did successfully complete a fully compliant final report. And a fully compliant federal financial report. So we should be good. It says after.
It's when you get up to date.
Responsibility of
Yeah.
Treasury post closeout adjustments. So what does that entail?
That just means if anything changes, we can still, that's how we would send it to them. All right. Alfred's report.
Few things, not much, right? John's played training, he's an instructor now, made pre-certified with Zara for their training. Jones had offered up to do a big release for his Explorer, if you guys were interested in that for no cost. He has all of, it's completely outfitted and everything. Thing is, while he's using it for police use, the town got insurance on it. That's all I would ask. And he has that here if you want to review it. And then outside of when he's working, then he would maintain his own insurance. That responsibility. You guys want to look at this afterwards and think about it. Next thing is, I know there had been some discussion on like a local ordinance for citations for speed. I just brought in a copy of what Holland had, or has, and gave that to Mona just so you guys can review it too and just decide what you want to do with that. That's what they came up with up there. And that's something we can decide on. And they can only be done on the local road, state highways, state highway. I would definitely make sure for the town attorney that that would all be good. Yeah, but that's the discussion brought up. So
I
So
like
what
it.
they have.
people can't get a ticket for speeding through here now?
No, they can. They can stay ticket.
So I had a conversation with Alfred
Oh, okay.
a few weeks back, and he was telling me how if they issue a state ticket or whatever, then the town doesn't get any of that money. But well, like you said, like $4
Yes, a
every
couple
time,
bucks.
or a couple bucks that kicks back to the town. Well, we've been having issues, up and down this road for a while now. People flying,
Mhm.
and I think everybody's got kids down here.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you having people set out here because it's made a difference. Not for everyone, and you're not always out here, but it's made a big difference. I've seen people drive by rolling 20 mile an hour because they've been stopped, sitting at the Mason's Lodge and up here at the post office. It's made a big effect on it. But I feel like if we issue town tickets like this, then all the money comes straight to the town, and instead of having to pay a $100 ticket and all that money going to the county and a few dollars getting kicked back, and having to pay a deferral, $200 ticket, you would rather pay a smaller fine and all the money goes to the town. I think I'm
So
all
it
for it.
replaces the ticket they would get now, then it's not in addition
So
to?
then, I could just keep everybody, just get a record, state citation.
Okay,
Or if you guys did adopt that, like Town of Holland did, they would get that citation on our local roads.
Mhm.
okay.
And then if they fail to pay the fine, we discussed that after give them a 2 week period to be able to pay the fine. If they don't, then we turn it over to the state, correct?
Well, what they do is they basically just fill in on property. I don't know how to, something that, that's just a copy of the citation that the marshal out there gives out. That's what he provided me with. I don't
Okay.
have a copy of their specific ordinance. But they just adopted that at the beginning of last year, and he's had success with it. Everybody's slowed down, and it's not any issue with people paying it. But I believe that's really just a civil matter that you're not
Yeah.
saying court. You really can't do anything. Show up, so.
Oh, it says must be within 10 days of the date.
And we could change that if we think
Yeah.
it needs to be.
If somebody's having issues or something, or make it to where they can make
Prior to me,
payments
it
on a
was
higher one.
something the town had, cause I just saw a copy of it still hanging up in there. That would have been maybe even early on when Boone was here. They were doing that. I guess then it was stopped because it was on the state highway. So that's just something, the legality of it
Yeah.
would have to be checked into.
Oh, like maybe it's only the side streets you can do it on and
Yeah,
not
so
that.
it's my
main
understanding,
road.
if it's a town road, that we could enforce that ordinance.
Yes. But on the main road, you're still obviously going to stop somebody
Yeah,
that's
it's-
recklessly flying 90 mile an hour through the insurance.
Yeah, I think 40 is generous too. I always
I do.
would rather do 30 through there, but
Yeah, it's way. It's way better than Dale.
Yeah,
They've kicked theirs down a couple times now. Now, as soon as you turn off 231, it's 25 all the way to
I
Sternberg's.
know.
Isn't that wild? I can't
Yes.
do it. I'm sorry, I
So
break the law.
definitely, for sure, out there.
I
You
do.
what?
And Dale, they increased that little section to 30.
Oh, did they? Yeah, well, that's good news, but still.
What will it be on this street?
If we mirrored off of that, it would be, like, what they do is, the first time's 35, after that, it's 60.
35 is fast at it. Oh, you
Oh, no, no,
yeah,
no, no,
yeah,
you're just talking about speed limit. Speed
Yeah.
limit's 20.
Yeah, it's
Speed limit's
20.
all the way
It should be 20.
down to
20 is fast enough.
I was saying the main road, I feel like 40 is very generous. I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind seeing it
But we
at
can't-
30.
That's state road.
Yeah, there's no real sidewalks or anything, and that's kind of dangerous, but it kind of should deter people from hiking up and down those
Right, so
steep
it's a
banks,
higher-
even though, you're not going to stop everybody. And like even me at one time, I probably would have done it. So I understand where they're coming from, but it's still, yeah.
Okay,
You don't
I
have
have,
no idea what year that ordinance is, do you?
For
For Hollins.
Holland, it would have been last year.
it's right here if you want to look at it.
The ordinance numbers on your side.
Says, I
Um,
don't think
I have one more question. You have like first, second, third offense. So is it going on their driving record or how are we
No, it's
keeping
their-
track
it's
of
their-
how those build up? It's just gonna be manual of, okay,
I don't think it should ever fall off either. If you get caught flying down this road,
I mean, really honestly, it's, they're still getting charged for speed, and it's, they're slowing down, and then they're paying that versus them getting points for an infraction. or
Right,
whatever
right.
for it. But the legality of it is if the state's like, no, you can't do that, then obviously I don't part of that. Like I said, I'm just mirroring off of what the other towns adopted in their attorney. They built
Mhm.
that up, so I assumed it would be something to look at.
I feel like it's obviously going to be different. It's just like anytime you get pulled over, if you're a girl, you can cry and get out of it. But no,
my God.
no, I'm just kidding. But what I was really trying to get at was, they're obviously not going to stiff it. We're not going to stiff people that are, 5 or 10 over. But if somebody's flying down here 45, 50 mile an hour
Oh my
with
gosh,
2
yeah.
tons of, scrap metal, they'll go to just go right here.
Happens all
It's
the
like,
time.
why are you in such, and that is the main offenders is, I mean,
People from
vehicles that
out of
look like they're about to fall apart, why are they even going that fast to
Something
begin
that
with?
they totally-
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. We would have to think about where that money goes, but
Yeah.
yeah, I like it. I think we
Uh,
can
that's not-
run it by Bruce and see if he thinks we can just copy paste or if
Yeah.
there's other,
And I know Marty, you got grass or whatever, it's trying to, while we're on there, so it might be a good time to, I mean, regardless of what you guys want the citation would cost to be,
Mhm.
$75
Oh.
for grab or whatever, each time or whatever.
I feel like it should go to like a general. Yeah. I feel like it should go to like a general fund because I'm hoping not to generate a whole lot of revenue. I'm hoping, hopefully, like over
You're hoping
time.
that people slow.
Hopefully, over time, it turns into like, oh crap, I'm in Ferdinand. I better not go 1 mile per hour over the speed limit.
where is that one? Is that from Holland too? Or is that just one that you found?
It's ChatGPT. What are you talking
Okay.
about? Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of our ordinances we ran into in the past that we had, like, hey, your third offense, we're gonna come over and clean up your yard, but like, we still never really enforce those.
Right, yeah.
And so,
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, that because we don't pursue the yard cleanup, it's kind of harder to.
so
And if you start giving them fines, they don't pay them, and then we have to go to court. What happens with this? I mean, is that going to be another situation like that?
if it doesn't work, then honestly, just go back to the state.
Yeah.
As long as there's no legality issue on it, then I mean, we'll just do whatever we want to have.
Hmm.
I have 4 other things on here, so I'll try to. I had mentioned previously about partnering with for government funds or whatever. It looks like we can, and probably will be getting that. So I was wanting to proceed with getting a new vehicle. only if, that doesn't come out of the general budget or PD budget like it has to be. So basically what I'm trying to say is, I wanted to start that process, but I don't want to. It sounds like it only takes a couple weeks to get everything for lighting. So I don't know if, hey, you could have the vehicle by the end of the month, if I could have permission, but I just, do that as long as the funds were here for the town. So I was just gonna ask permission to check into that process, but I do know that we will get the funds. We are acting. They sent us the stuff the other day for reimbursement.
Is this a federal grant like the other one was?
Yeah, it's all through federal, stuff. And then also, more federal stuff. I don't know why everybody's calling all the time, but, Taser called the other day and so did the other company. And then the DOJ has funds right now called the Biden DOJ fund. And there's like $3 billion that they're wanting to spend on law enforcement. So I was gonna ask, that's separate from the vehicle stuff, separate thing. But I was gonna ask to put in to get tasers and, it pays for full-time law enforcement salary. So I was gonna ask to put in for it, to try to get a full-time position for myself and maybe a deputy as well. No cost to the town, obviously.
That'd be killer.
Daydreaming, but if you guys are okay with that, then I was gonna try to get some of those funds. It pays for 3 years of full-time position employment, so.
Then we really wouldn't have to worry about people speeding in this road.
But that, I mean, it's the packet on it is, like, there's a lot of stuff to look at on there. But because of the size of our agency and the fact that we have partnered and completed that training that was required of us, we're one of the only few agencies that are eligible to get part of that fund. So,
Did you say it would pay for 3 years?
yeah, 3 years. Full-time salary and all the equipment to go with it. So it's similar to the cop grant we applied for a couple of years ago. That was a 75%. This is 100% no match. And actually, what's interesting is it's for departments that have partnered with that program, or departments that have over 100,000 population they serve. Obviously, we don't have that, but we're on the other end of that. So because we have completed that training, now we're one of the few agencies that can get that. So essentially, the way they were talking is why they're calling, because they're trying to, taser and sell it right as they're trying to sell us stuff that there's no way we would ever be able to afford.
Right.
Because there's $3 billion has to be spent for law enforcement stuff. So just daydreaming, there's a lot of numbers there, just punching in numbers or whatever. That's something that I would like to work on too. So I'm just making you aware of it, and the deadline for that is in 2 weeks. They just called like 2 days ago.
Okay.
So there's just a lot of stuff that could happen within the next month. I'm just basically asking permission to
What are your thoughts?
proceed with, as long as there's not.
I think so.
The town getting $100,000 bill or something like that, like we're not.
I feel like permission granted.
Yeah.
And then back to general normal everyday stuff. Ironically, the radar, they were supposed to calibrate last week. Our radar's out in the truck by the time it goes in back.
So, yeah, do we want to advertise?
So right now, I don't have a radar. So,
Let's knock that from the record.
it should be back within the next days, probably Monday or something.
Okay.
And then I had an order unit. I went ahead and had that repaired too. So we will have a backup unit if we need it. And the Manny's vehicle, the brakes were terrible on it, but now we have brake pads on there again, so it's back in service.
Okay.
And that's where we're at. It's a lot of stuff. I can talk about. all
Yeah.
that afterwards. I just.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, and then water and wastewater.
Okay. Start with water. We abandoned approximately a mile of old 3-inch water main in Lincoln City. We did that due to the extension of the trail system that's coming through. They have to install a bridge near Heritage Hills High School, and doing that, we had two mains at the time of planning and things like that, and we were told that they were still gonna be able to build the bridge, and it was too tight. So we abandoned a 3-inch, and what we did is we took the 4 customers that were on that and put them on a 6-inch main that ran through the same area. Realistically, it should have been done when they put the 6 in. They should have abandoned it back then. So, but they didn't. So we did that. Repaired 6 meters last month. Replaced 2 meter pits. I've got the CCR, the Consumer Confidence Report, has been sent out. We actually have to make an amendment to it and send out a second copy. There was some information that they got missed, but it'll be going out first part of next week. Currently working on what we call it's the annual water loss audit. It's something that we do. It just compiles information on water loss that we have in the system and tracks that. And doing that, it's since changed in the last few years to where we have to have a validator come in and do that. Alliance of Indiana, they come in and they do that for us for free. It's a free service, and he will be here on the 8th, be next week, to validate that for me. Mona and I completed the asset management plan that is now required through the IURC. We completed it this week. Is that right? Yeah,
The
just
deadline.
just by the
Listen.
skin of our teeth.
A win's a win.
Yeah, and I mean, when it's like we're a small rural system, we don't have tons of office staff and guys that work in the field. So whenever I prioritize customer service is number one,
Yeah.
and the rest of it, we want to make sure we got quality water at the tap before I worry about things like that. They can wait. But anyway, sewer, installed 1 new sewer tap this month. Had some massive repairs to the north side lift station since I was here. I just kind of wanted to bring it up. I think, message Kristen off and on a little bit during all that, but it was when we had a bad lightning storm here a while back. And we actually lost that whole station. We lost both pumps, everything inside of it, the service panel, most of the control system's okay. We did lose the motor starters and some different pieces like that to go along with it. Fortunately, through it all, we did find out it was due to a lightning strike. So insurance has paid for that
Okay,
100%. So we've already gotten reimbursed for that. We've paid for that. And in doing that, we did find the same guys that we used to help us to get the station back up and going. They had a pump in stock that will fit both the north side lift station and Park Drive. And I went ahead and purchased that pump for a backup, because when we lost this one, luckily we had a vac, because otherwise the cost would have probably been double that to have somebody come in and haul that. So that's what we did, is we used the vac, and we took the waste and things that was coming out of that lift station, and we hauled it to our master lift station and then pumped it from there to the lagoon. So we were able to do that with no overflows. So that's great that we had that equipment on hand.
Mhm.
That has been a diamond. I appreciate the purchase of that. And then on the town, of course, we talked earlier, and we have a guy here who's a senator for the state of Indiana, and he understands community crossings grants and things like that. And they plan to begin paving on East Mill, doing the repairs and things there, which will be from County Road 150 East all the way to Indiana 62 will be resurfaced. We will put in new stormwater structure and everything underneath all the intersections and things there. So that should start within the next couple of weeks is when we expect them to be here. And then with the grant money that we got from Spencer County Park and Rec for the park, we plan to build a shade structure and bench next to the pickleball court. It's getting a lot of use, but we also see that there's a need for it.
Yeah.
So that's what we plan to do there.
Man, get the tree out of the lake.
Fishermen are asking me to leave it there.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. That's a good bet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we'll get it out. As much as I'd like to leave it there, it's an eyesore. It'll come out. We just got to get around to it with a mini. So that's all I've got.
Okay, and then you had suggested a the
Yeah.
grass, clippings, leaves,
It's-
and yard debris on streets.
We've just got some people who are notorious about it, and it's unbelievably thick when they do it. And when you start to get an inch, 2 inches of rain, it becomes a problem. It clogs culverts and things like that. And then, we've stuck a lot of money, especially in the last 5, 6 years into paving and things like that, and it becomes a problem. So it's kind of like speeding. If you
Mhm.
start to get in somebody's pocket a little bit, they might be courteous. And it's like I blow the grass clippings on the road too because it does a better job, but then I blow them back off. It's not that hard to go out there and blow them back off.
Yeah.
It's not. But yeah, I think if we hit a couple people, I think they'll stop.
Okay. Mona, can you get this and the Holland speed limit one in front of Bruce?
Yeah.
To see what he thinks? Or I mean, are you okay with this?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Pull mine back in.
That's what you need for writing ordinances, is ChatGPT. It takes like 3 seconds. And yeah. It's a tool though, and you have to,
Just download.
Reread, yeah.
yes,
double
oh,
check.
you absolutely want to reread it. Yeah.
All right,
absolutely.
public comments. Yeah.
That's you, sir.
That's you.
Hello, I just came down, want to introduce myself. I'm Daryl Schmidt, our state senator for District 48. So starting at the Wabash River, I represent Gibson, Pike, Du Bois, Spencer, Perry, and Crawford counties, those 6 counties, whatever. And I'm also, we're a part-time legislature in Indiana, so I'm also a farmer in Du Bois and Pike counties down around Otwell and Ireland. But when I started this, I made a commitment. I guess I back up a little bit. Before this becoming our state senator, I was on the Du Bois County Council.
Okay.
So, and if you told me 10 years ago I'd be doing this, I'd have said, no, you're half nuts. But anyway, whenever I do something, I just want to do it right. When I got on the Du Bois County Council, it took me 3 weeks to see every department head, judge, everybody in the county. Doing the same thing as a state senator, I made a commitment to come around to every city, county, and town council in District 48. I didn't realize there were 39 when I made that commitment,
Mhm.
but you guys are 37, so I need to get to Cannleton and Patoka yet. But the whole idea is to come around. My card is there, my cell phone's on the back. I want to put a name, a face to the name. So whenever you guys need something, I want you to be able to feel free to call, text anytime. I gave you a couple papers earlier. Those are updates of Senate Enrolled Act 1 from 2025. Senate Bill 1 we all talked about, which is basically I like to go around. In 2023, the legislature created an interim study committee. Those are summer study committees. And prior to that, our taxes, property taxes, everything had been going up incrementally. A lot of it tied to inflation with COVID. There's a lot of uncertainty with COVID. The federal government might or might not have printed too much money at the time and created this snowball, but they didn't want us to go into the Great Depression again. Okay. So now we're dealing with a lot of those consequences. So in 2023, when people's property taxes have been going up 20 and 30%, they created this study committee. It took 2 years to do it. Well, the culmination was Senate Bill 1 for 2025. Lot of moving parts in that, a lot of things that I guess scared people about it. I would say that it's not going to be in my opinion, not the property tax relief that people wanted, but it's also not going to cripple local governments like people were afraid that it was going to happen. Okay. Complicated and hard to try to find one solution for 92 counties. Okay, so what happened with Senate Bill 1, Senate Enrolled Act 1, when it came out in 2025, a lot of changes, a lot of panic. So what we did in 2026 session, which a part-time legislature, we have a biennial budget. So every 2 years, we do the budget. So that's the odd number year. So in January 2027, we will start on another 2-year budget. So this past year, it's not, we didn't, budgets were not opened up. made some tweaks and changes. So you'll see on some of those papers there, it's that House Enrolled Act 1210 from last year, from 2026. Basically delayed the lit changes, the local income tax changes for 1 year. Okay, but there's timelines on the one and then changes on the other, giving local governments an opportunity to work together. The MUST committee, I can't even remember exactly what MUST stands for now, but basically encouraging county councils, town councils, city councils, everybody to work together, having meetings through the summer, trying to get a better understanding how we want to move forward with local income tax, okay? If you're above 3,500 right now in a municipality, you will ultimately have the option after 2029 to create your own municipal income tax. Okay, obviously here in Spencer County, no one hits that threshold.
Yeah.
Okay, so it will change less for us here, but the idea was to deliver decisions to us at the local level, empower us at the local level. I still talk us because I'm, coming from the county council, and that's the whole reason I'm up there. But it gives us the opportunity not to change fundamentally where taxes are coming from, whether it's property or income taxes or something, but the local income tax, the extra flexibility will allow us to have more involvement in what we want to do. We'll be more accountable, more nimble, can make the decisions that the constituents want. If your constituents are clamoring for more money to be utilized for roads or infrastructure, whatever you need, and utilities, well, you've got the local income tax that you can work with the county, create an ordinance, and you could raise your local income tax a little bit. If everybody's supporting clamor. Now, on the opposite side of it, if people are complaining that they're too high, well, then it's more one-to-one and you're right here and you'll be able to explain, okay, if you're wanting your local income tax to reduce 0.1%, here's what we're going to possibly have to delay. We might have to delay this water improvement, this new water lines for a year. So it's more direct correlation and hopefully be more nimble and accountable. And I believe us at the local level will do a better job, whether it's property tax money or income tax money, managing it ourselves, right? I don't want the federal government or even the state government, property taxes are collected local and then we spend them local, whether it's the schools or, airports, libraries, the local government. I'd rather us have the option to be collecting the taxes and managing them the way we see fit. So that's kind of the whole goal of this 7-year plan with Senate Enrolled Act 1. So those are just some updates and some changes. And also it's simplicity in all this too. Our property taxes were rated, our property tax system is rated as the 4th most complicated property tax system in the United States. Not where we want to be, right? I don't, there was, it takes 17 different deductions and movements and gymnastics moves to try to understand where your property taxes are coming from and how they're figured. The whole idea behind this is to make it a lot simpler, okay? And I've made it my passion to be involved, and ultimately I've been working to try to get on Tax and Fiscal Policy Committee on the Senate. I've been lobbying myself to try to get on that so I can help advocate for these changes, so hopefully we'll be able to, that's the idea behind it. Now, you'll hear people saying, well, my deduction's going away for this specific item or that specific item. Over this 7-year transition, there's going to be somebody that might be adversely affected for a short period. Okay, but then it's all going to balance out. If you guys look at your property tax statements, ultimately the 1% cap, which that's our homesteads, if we have a homestead, that's the 1%. Okay, ultimately by the time we get to 2032, 2031, there will be a 2/3 assessed value deduction. Okay, so if your house is worth $150,000, the assessed value, okay, by the time we're at 2031, off the top, $100,000 of that assessed value will be a deduction. Okay, and then you'll pay tax rate times 50,000. Okay, if you're in the 2%, which that's like ag land, apartment buildings, they'll end up by the time we get to year 7 with a 1/3 assessed value deduction. 150,000, you knock off 50, tax rate times $100,000. Okay, The 3% businesses, they will pay full tax rate or full assessed value times the tax rate. But there's a change on the business personal property tax end of it, which there'll be some relief for them there. But this is all transitioning. But the idea is instead of having 18 different deductions, it'll be more of a standard deduction. Like this year, homesteads were 40%, be 46% next year. The 2% like ag land was a 6%. If you look on your property tax statements from this year, like I'm a farmer, so on the ag land, I looked and there was like your assessed value as you're going down through the total on your, I think it's Form 11. And then it was the assessed value, then right below it was in parentheses, and it was like, what's this? I haven't seen that before. Well, this was the first year for that. It was a 6%. So if you took your assessed value times 6%, that was a 6% deduction on the 2%, which ultimately, like when we get to year 7, will be that 33% deduction. It's a gradual deduction, 6% this year, 12, and on until we get to 31 at year 7, or till we get to 33% in year 7. Okay, so same way on your homesteads will be ultimately get up to the 67%. So all of the goal of all this is transparency, simpler where we can understand it, and more decision-making power for us. Sorry if I got too far into the weeds. I'm actually, it's kind of fun. It's kind of a nerdy fun.
Yes,
I
yeah.
enjoy it, but the hope is to make it better and simpler for all of us down the road. I guess that would be the gist of it. You've got my card there. Anytime you have questions as we're moving forward, or you hear stuff in session, when we're in session, and you hear stuff come across the TV that sounds totally loony, it could be. But a potential bill is nothing more than an idea that I have or that you have that someone is trying to introduce. But just because it's introduced doesn't mean it's actually going to become law. A very small percentage of potential legislation, actually becomes law. So we'll start working on stuff here in August. I'm part of an interim study committee of government. Okay. And one of the things we're working on this summer is basically accountability of our bureaucratic functions. Okay. I'm one for more limited government. If we need to create a piece of legislation, okay, fine. If not, I think a big part of my job is to keep silly stuff from becoming law. But one of the pieces, what we're looking at is the Department of Revenue, Bureau of Motor Vehicles, and the Division of Disability, or the Department of Disability, claims where, so when you call up to you call up to your favorite bureaucracy and you get that, voicemail that says, please listen to the following options because the menus have recently changed. That message might be older than we are. But we're going to study the call wait times, email length of time that it is before we get responses. I just happened to put a request in last Thursday to a specific department. I sent an email, still haven't got a response. So I made a phone call today. I always give them a week and then make a phone call. And then now I did get a text back that I got that they could receive the phone call. Anyway, they work for us. There's a lot of, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great people that are working in our government and in our bureaucracies, but the system itself, we have to do something about because we're the taxpayers, we're the customers, right? So if, customer service 101 is you can at least respond back, right? So anyway, so that's some of the things that we're working on potentially for next year. And if there's anything else that you have an interest in, just feel free to text or call and we'll work on it. Anyway, but thank you for listening. Didn't mean to take up.
No worries.
Any questions?
I don't. I guess one of my questions was, and I can probably find it if I read through here, but will the rates be still set? And if we want to adjust, then we put ordinances in place, or do we have to meet every year to decide what the rates
You
are
mean
gonna
for the
be?
local income
Yeah, for
taxes?
the local income tax.
Right now, it's still set, after 2031, that I guess in this instance, it would be the county council would have to approve to continue the rates the way they are.
Okay,
Okay, now, such a big, complex set of changes, they were, you know, we knew there were gonna be some unintended consequences, okay? So that's why implementation wasn't scheduled until 2028. Well, now, most of that stuff's been pushed back until 2029 because some people had concerns if you would have to reapprove the local income tax rate every year. People that were guaranteeing bonds were concerned about how that would affect, repayment,
right,
okay? We're not gonna do anything that's gonna affect your ability to keep your bonds in place where you wouldn't be able to honor your commitments. So that might actually sound like a political answer, but we have an opportunity to change it yet, but where it's setting right now, it could be, but wouldn't take effect till 2032.
okay,
That's why these are moving parts that are still being molded, right? The book's not written yet, okay? So that's why I've been trying to get to the table and be a part of the Tax and Fiscal Policy Committee that will be making these changes. So if you guys, you see something that you're thinking, this is not gonna work, this is silly, then we're gonna talk about it and then we're gonna try to avoid, tripping on anything.
okay,
So, but right now, I think did that answer your question?
Yes.
That's kind of what we're talking about.
yes,
But that's up for debate yet. We're still
okay,
trying to make sure we don't adversely affect. Any other
thank you.
questions?
Nope.
It's perfectly fine. Call me, text me anytime, right? I'll get back with you and, my job is not necessarily, I don't know everything, right? And it's not my job to know everything. It's my job to be able to find the answers. I'm a conduit for 140,000 people, basically is what I am. If you've got questions, I'm not afraid to say, oh, I don't know what that answer is, and then I'm gonna go find it. Now, a lot of times it's the same questions and same problems, so then I can solve the problem or answer the questions right away, but there's basically roughly 140,000 people in District 48, and it's my job to just be the conduit and get you hooked to the right people and to get the right answers. Happy to do that.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. We'll go to approval of claims and payroll docket. Oh, we had to do that one review.
Look at papers with me. That photo. We had to pay for that?
We have to give the money back if we had it and then they couldn't get it from her. Is that what it is?
Oh, okay. Get my calculator out. Motion accept and approve all payroll and docket and claims.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we can adjourn at 5:22.